Hey there, it's Johanna, and today I want to talk about how all the things outside of us can really impact how we feel inside. And we've been looking at things like our sense of worth and feeling good enough from a number of different angles. And you can check out some of the recent videos to catch up on that if you haven't seen them already. And today I want to focus in on kind of the piece of how the inside connects with the outside. And I think sometimes we get really focused in on our internal experience, looking at, okay, what am I believing? What do I want to shift? How am I going to shift it? All really focused internal. And there's a lot of value in that, but it's not the whole picture. And because, all the self-criticism, the self-doubt, the things we don't like about ourselves, the ways we wonder if we're actually good enough, those don't just magically appear out of nowhere inside of us. And when we kind of just focus on just the inside piece, for one, it could start to feel like, oh, well, I'm struggling to believe I'm good enough, but I should be able to because I am good enough. So is that just another way I'm not good enough? It can kind of feel frustrating and it must be my fault that I can't figure it out because it's all right here inside of me. And there's also the fact that just because we're not acknowledging all the things that are impacting us, whether we just haven't really noticed or haven't really thought about it, or if we're actually trying to ignore them because we don't know how to fix them, we don't know how to change them, so we're just gonna pretend they're not there. No matter what the reason, if we're not recognizing how we're being influenced, that doesn't mean that we're not being impacted. All those things are still there. We just are way less aware, so we're less able to decide what am I going to do in the face of this. So that's why it feels important to take a look at this. And this is it's there's a lot out there. This is complex and there's a lot of nuance. So today I just want us to start to consider, to take a look. What are all the messages that you've received about who you are, what you're capable of, what you should give to others, what you need to be better at, what you need to stop. All these messages that we get over the course of our lives, or maybe just take a look at messages you've received today or this week, because it's a lot. And they can be, sometimes they're really obvious, and a lot of times they're not. So, some things to think about, how you might look at how people treat you, how they talk to you, how they talk about you, how people treat others who you see as like you in some ways. Can look at what spaces and conversations are you included in, and what are you maybe left out of? How are you celebrated? How are you assessed? By whose standards? And this isn't all just super individual either. We are associated with different groups or identities, whether by choice or not. And another thing to look at is, okay, what what stereotypes or assumptions or beliefs are held about these groups or identities that I'm a part of in some way. And, what I guess what I'd really invite you to do today is to just start noticing, like, what are all the places that you come in contact with something or someone outside of you? And this can be, relationships, your family, your friends, your neighbors, in the workplace, maybe at church, or your neighborhood, your city, your state, your country. There's all the different systems, the news or media you take in, all the ads telling you what you need to buy to be better, to finally feel good, to be good enough. Just there's so many pieces of society. And so just to start noticing, what are some of those contact points for you? And then what's the connection between those and how you feel about yourself, how you view yourself? And, this is a big topic, so doesn't need to be all exhaustive, but I'd invite you to consider that part of it too when you're thinking about your worth. Anyway, I will be back with more soon. In the meantime, remember, you can trust yourself.